Hello and welcome to another episode of the TF Cast. Today's date is September 22nd.
And today with us we have singer-songwriter, musician, and educator? Is educator fair?
Yeah,
We didn't talk about that, but I'm throwing it in there.
It's fair.
Nate Boots. Nate, give the audience a little bit of an introduction. Tell them what's going on with the music and how you came to be with us.
I am Nate Boots. It's true. It's the day after the 21st. It's the 22nd today. This is my favorite time of year. I love September 15th through October 15th in Minnesota especially, and I'd probably rather be nowhere else. The fall weather is my favorite thing, my favorite time of year here in Minnesota.
That I agree with that. It's
Yeah.
definitely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The color trees are just starting to change, so we're dipping the toe in the water of whatever that is.
Right. I heard the colors may be a little muted this year with the
drought.
But you know, the temperature is important too, to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's comfy in here though, so I feel good too.
Well, right away with music, we recorded a couple songs a minute ago. Some great tunes that I hadn't heard before. That was nice.
Thank you.
Can you what kind of musical projects you got going on? Are you playing out at all right now?
Been playing
anything?
a ton. I sort of lost my the work I was doing because of COVID. No, I teach a lot of classes. That's one of my main side hustles, and no, that's my main hustle. My music is kind of has been my side hustle, but this year I had to make it my main hustle from the spring into the summer, just because enrollment was down, and so I'm an adjunct instructor, and there wasn't as much, there weren't as many students, so they cut some teachers. So getting that back now this fall has been nice, but I scheduled gigs into the fall too, so now I'm kind of very busy, very busy. And I've got. I'd be remiss if I didn't say my main hustle is really, I like to say, being a father too. I've got 3 kids, and I really enjoy spending my time with them and making sure they're where they need to be when they need to be there.
How far along are they? What stage in their childhood?
They're always getting older. 15, 13, 11 right now. We've got 1 in high school, Mankato West, and 2 at the very scary Dakota Meadows Middle School. That place terrifies me.
What's going on over there?
I feel like you can smell the changing chemicals of puberty when you walk into the building, and it's just scary. I went there for a talent show a couple of years ago, and that was crazy.
I thought you were going to say it was like by a wastewater plant or something.
No.
A Batman villain.
Physically safe place, as far as I know, most of the time. You can get crazy on the playground too. I've heard some tales, but or the lunchroom, or even the classroom. But no, that was so crazy to watch that talent show. My daughter Violet also plays music sometimes with me, and she'd never really played anything in front of more than, I don't know, 50 people or something like that. And all of a sudden she was up there with the piano right in the middle of the gym floor. And I think there are like 500-600 students listening, and it's so quiet. You could hear a pin drop, and man, that's pressure to me. But she kind of nailed it. She played a Tom Petty song, which none of them have probably heard or liked unless their dads listened to it or something. But Violet's got musical taste similar to mine, which is nice for me. She's into early 90s stuff, some grunge, some Weezer, some Green Day.
I feel like I've been talking about Weezer for some reason a lot.
Yeah,
recently.
That's good.
And I think that the thing that really did it for me with those albums, because I've looked back at them and they didn't stay with me. Like, I don't enjoy them the way I used to, but I think they're some of the most like well mixed rock and roll. Like, it's very energetic, and like something that they did there, really, they did a really great job in the studio. Maybe do you feel the same way, or do you think that I don't know, tell me your opinion.
The production I think is good and interesting. I heard I'm a big fan. Like I heard Buddy Holly was the first song I ever heard. I think I was in my college dorm room. It was 1994. And I just loved those guys immediately. I loved the sound of the guitars. And I heard that they never played an upstroke on a guitar. It was all downstrums only. And they tuned the whole album down half a step or something like that. So they're being kind of nerdy or kind of weird. But I think the Blue album does hold up especially. And I've had some arguments with some other musicians around here, namely Ben Scruggs, who hates everything after the Blue album. But it's like the only thing he hates in the world. He's the nicest guy. So.
I mean, like
you got to hate something.
Weezer, they've over the years, like they haven't like really shifted their audience. I think they've stayed like aiming for that like college student, late teen kind of thing. So I mean, the obvious like backlash to things like Beverly Hills coming out.
Yeah, Beverly Hills was a mistake. But
was it like, you know, when
no,
you think about
it was that was a mistake. But like they did shift because they're kind of playing to that college audience. But I was in college when they first were doing it, and I've stayed with them getting older. But a college student can still sort of relate to some of that chasing the girl or broken heart or just kind of nerdy stuff that they get into too. But, you know, I think it's a testament to Weezer too that my daughter likes to listen to them. She really likes their songs. In fact, true story, yesterday, we were in the car and I had a Weezer CD in and I was going to go through a song and the opening notes of My Name is Jonas came on and I went past it and she grabbed my arm and she said, "Wait, did you just flip past My Name is Jonas?" She was like mad. I was like, yes, I did. I'll go back for you. So she likes that song.
That is a nice intro that they have on there.
Yeah.
What has any of this like uptick in the amount of work you've done musically over this last year like changed your perspective as a performer or like changed your influence?
Yeah, probably. I might not even realize exactly how yet. Maybe this winter when things slow down a little bit, and I have time to think of what it all meant. But I've played more gigs this summer than ever before. I've played more solo this summer than ever before, which in the past I just never really thought I could do or wanted to do or anyone else would want me to do, because I get tired of myself after about a song and a half. And I just thought, you know, who wants to hear some dude playing for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? Sometimes these gigs go 4 hours. So I've had to sort of expand just the number of songs I do. I have no problem playing cover songs. I love to cover Weezer or Tom Petty or Johnny Cash or Miley Cyrus or you know, whoever. I don't care. I like to make an old song new or mine. I like when other artists do that too. But it gives me a chance to play my new stuff too. And the new stuff keeps coming, so that's been nice. I've got an album I'm working on right now that's almost finished. I just actually spent some time with my recording engineer, Scott Helgerson of the Rain Kings in town, and good musician in his own right. But we're almost done. We're about 4/5 done with that album.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's a writing process look like for you with an album like that?
Yeah. So I would say I'm sort of a writer before a musician. I came to Mankato for writing 20 years ago, 2001, just before 9/11. I wasn't in Mankato for 1 month before 9/11 happened. That certainly like changed things, but it's an easy way for me to mark when I came to this town. But I came here for writing. I came to study fiction writing at MSU. Thought I'd be here for 2 or 3 years like all the rest of the students and then maybe move on. But you know, made a family here, settled down, and 20 years later, it seems like it's gone by in a flash sometimes. It didn't always. And early on, actually, I kind of didn't like Mankato. I was like, okay, it'll just be 2 years or 3 years. And I met this guy, this buddy, the early friend here in Mankato, and we sort of bonded over hating Mankato and bitching about Mankato. and how it was kind of like in the middle of nowhere and all that stuff that you can bitch about if you want to, or if you want to bitch about something. But after about 3-4 months, it quickly got toxic, and we both sort of realized like we're always in a negative mood when we're around each other because we're just bitching about Mankato. So we decided to do the exact opposite. We acted like Mankato was the greatest place in the world. It was like a joke for a month or two. But then as we did things, it's like we would try to find something to tell each other about that we did in town that was fun. And so we started finding stuff to do, took a bike ride or went to Rapidan and bought a pie there, or, just even little stuff. But I'll just say by the end of that 3 years, he was leaving. He was really sad to leave Mankato, and he comes back to visit now sometimes, and I'm still here. So
yeah, I mean, Mankato really does have a draw. You hear most of the criticisms that I hear of Mankato. I would call them shallow because it grows on you pretty quick. It's a great place, and we're not really in the middle of nowhere.
Right. It's kind of nice, I think, sometimes because it's, not necessarily in the cities. I can't deal with traffic, man. I like, it really gets me down. And even like a little traffic jam in Mankato gets me down. I was taking my daughter to school at Mankato West, and oh my God, that traffic down there in the morning, even the parking lot, it's not just traffic. It's like 16 and 17-year-olds driving
I'm out.
Yeah. So I don't know, if you want to pick up my daughter and give her a ride to high school, I'd probably pay you a couple bucks every once in a while.
What came first for you? Was it music or literature?
Definitely writing and literature. I think I'm sort of a strange case with music. I didn't really play anything or do anything with music until I was in my 30s. I wasn't in band in school. I was barely in choir. My choir teacher my senior year asked what section I wanted to be in, and that question was just, lost on me. What do you mean, what section? She's like, well, is your voice low or high? Are you a bass, a baritone, a tenor? I was like, I don't know, And she's like, well, can you sing for me? And it's just like, I didn't even want to sing because I was so embarrassed to sing. But she was a great choir instructor, teacher, Constance Knott. She was really good. And that just taught me a little bit. And then I probably picked up a guitar for the first time in college, and just kind of casually played it for years. And then I would say in about, it was in Mankato, about 2003 or 4, I'd been playing a little more just around the house and learned some songs. And I was always trying to write songs, but I always thought they sucked, and they did suck. But I was at McGough's one time, McGough's Irish Pub. Shout out, rest in peace to McGough's Irish Pub. And they had a hypnotist. I think it was New Year's Eve or something. That was their entertainment. And he got on stage and he was telling some off-color jokes and just creeping everybody out. And then he's like, all right, who wants to be hypnotized? And nobody wanted to be hypnotized by that guy because they didn't even know,
What's he going to do?
Yeah. He kind of shot himself in the foot there. But so he like swore at the audience and left. And then the owner of the bar was like, well, what are we going to do? And I had a couple of friends with me, and they're like, go get your guitar. He can play, Nate can play. And I was like, no. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have any of the gear. I had a guitar. They convinced me to go get my guitar. They would sing along. And I played for like an hour. So there was something happening at McGough's. And that was parlayed into me hosting the open mic there for about 3 years or so. And I learned to play there. And I saw 1 million people come through. Very interesting, groups of people or individuals. But then that closed, and then it kind of became the Sugar Room was the open mic after that. But then I went to the next stage where started having kids, and you kind of just can't go out or don't want to go out. And so it was music in the bathroom during bath time. Played a lot of songs for my daughter Violet, just in the bathroom, and there's good acoustics in there, so you can hear yourself. She'd sing along. It was great, and then kind of started up after that with the Porch Lights in 2013 and went from there.
Well, do you still ever get any of those early songs caught in your heads, like the one you don't like?
Oh, like that I wrote?
Yeah.
No, I've tried to erase them from memory. There was one I recall called "My Love for You Is Like a Car." And it was, every bad metaphor you can imagine, there's no brakes on this, goes fast, 100 miles an hour, it was really bad, really
like
bad.
A pretty nice car too.
Yeah. And yeah, the irony of that, anybody who knows me knows I don't know shit about cars either. So I was totally out of my depth with that one. I also wrote a song for my girlfriend at the time, which was, she didn't want to hear it. I don't think anybody want to hear it. But I feel like, I kept with it, I guess, which is a good thing. And I think when I would write a half a song all the time, or I'd write a song and I'd like half of it. And so it took me a long time to actually kind of like the whole song, and then just I don't know, have the guts to stick with it. And okay, all right, half of it's good, but don't throw it away. Like fix it or find a way to make it work somehow. So that's kind of how it works for me. I've got still a lot of songs that are half written or 3/4 written, and aren't quite there. But now I have so many of those that it's nice to have them in the hopper. I can go back every once in a while and I'll finish a song that I started a couple of years ago.
Is that the kind of process you take on in your head, or do you do this on paper?
It's usually in my head, maybe to start for whatever reason. I don't know how these ideas come. Honestly, I'm kind of fascinated by it too. But a line will come or a mood or something. And then if you can get like a chord progression that sort of fits that mood somehow, then it kind of goes from there. And I don't know. If I can hear it in my head before I play it, like I just want to get it as close to what I can hear. I heard Regina Spektor. I really like what she does. I think she's like so playful with what she does and creative and does different types of songs and themes. She's got that song Samson about, the guy from the Bible and his hair, and Delilah. I like that song a lot. And she said that she can hear the song completely. And I think I don't know if she said she like sees it in colors or something like too. I like that too. I wouldn't be surprised. She's kind of seems like she would be able to, but it's like getting it as close to as she can imagine it and then living with it. Hopefully it's somewhat close. So
there is some, I forget what the term is.
Synesthesia.
Yeah. Synesthesia.
Yeah.
That's like associating certain sounds with colors or whatever. And there's, a whole lot of internet lore around it.
Yeah. Like whether it's true or not, or whether it's
I mean, it's like it kind of is like a lot of people would say like silly things about it in public.
Kanye talking about how he sees colors, and it's like, okay, guy.
Yeah. I mean, like Adam Neely talks about it, if you know who he is at all. He's like a music theory nerd on the internet.
Okay.
And yeah, I can't shout out Adam Neely, but
I'm fascinated by that.
I'm not capable of it. He's just like extremely famous.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'll link you up later, but people talk about it, and there's definitely something there, and he has a lot of videos about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, I was going to ask if your writing process for an album kind of looks like distilling some of your previous pieces of songs, or whether you write fresh or you just kind of wing it, or how do you start assembling something like that?
I feel thankful after having written My Love for You Is Like a Car to have songs that I can go back to and maybe stick into an album if they work or whatever. Some don't make the cut sometimes either, but like on this new album that I hope to finish this year and have out, I've got maybe 2 or 3 songs that are 5 years old, but I just haven't played a lot yet. But I'll play more. It's like once I record it and kind of finish that recording, I can kind of let it go and move on to the next stuff. So I'm actually looking forward to finishing this, and then I've already got like ideas for the next one too. I mean, obviously the pandemic is on everybody's mind, and I've had some songs come during that time. That was one thing that I felt was a good way to spend my time if I was just hanging out at home or with the kids. Playing some music. My pandemic hobby was learning to play the piano. I didn't really know how to do that very well before. So I just played it every day there for about a year, and my daughter was playing it too, and we were about at the same stage. So it's kind of like we would egg each other on with, she learned something cool. I've got to, top that, or I got to play along with that. And then I do something, and we're kind of pushing each other. But I love the piano too. So, and I love like learning new things too. So it all dovetailed in a nice situation there.
What's the vision for the band and the album in the future? Like your 1 in 5 year kind of plans for the project.
So this album I'm working on is going to be another solo album. I did one last year. What year is it? 2021. 2020, which is kind of the lost year. I know. Mm-hmm. I did my first solo album last year, and it's called Wherever You May Roam. Recorded it in North Mankato, and did everything locally. I like supporting local and staying local and all that. I'm happy to be from North Mankato. And this next one will be solo too, but I've got a band one in the hopper. We've recorded a few tracks already with my band, the High Horses, and Michelle Roche plays drums and piano, and Ben Scruggs plays some lead guitar, and then a lot of times it's like whatever horses can play in a live setting or whoever's around, I'll bring in. I've used Lehigh Gertz, who is a really good fiddler, who played with me in the Porch Lights for years too. I just played with Krista Bowman this summer, another good fiddler. Pete Klug has played some bass, Scott Helgerson. And then sometimes I bring my kids in and they play too. My daughter can play the fiddle and the piano and the guitar, and she can sing and she can harmonize. I like the family voices thing too. And my boys are both drummers and, starting up other instruments too. So we don't call it the High Horses when we play. Sometimes we call it the Ponies or something like that, but they're all coming on. It used to just kind of be like a thing we did in the living room, but they're getting older and they're getting better. And so it's been kind of fun playing some gigs with them too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There was a couple things from the performances, and these will be out there too. One, you played for us a song that has some like historical significance to Mankato. Could you just kind of retell that story for the audience?
Sure. Run, 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 written by Dale Menton of the Gestures. I heard that it was written on Nicollet Avenue in North Mankato, and the Zeeth, the bass player from the Gestures, told me that the first people to hear that song were the kids that would gather around the garage when they were playing it. And I live on Nicollet Avenue now, all these years later, down the block, a few blocks east of where they used to practice. But I don't know, I like where I live. I've lived in Lower North for about 15 years now, and it's the longest I've lived anywhere in my life. I moved around a lot as a kid. So I wanted to ask Dale if he'd let me recut that song in my own way, and he just agreed about a month ago. So we're working on it, and that'll be part of the new album. I really like that song, and it was a hit for them in 1964, kind of like a Beach Boys surfer rock type of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard of that one come up quite a few times on like the Mankato Memories page, or I don't know, it comes up like probably every year or so. Someone will say something about it.
About the band or that song specifically?
Both. I mean, it was a big success at the time.
It was the big hit they had, and I think they only had something like 4 songs or something. I just looked it up with a friend too, and I may be wrong, but they weren't together for a super long time. But that song hit like the top of whatever charts there were. You know, it was like the Midwest pop chart or something like that. It was went to number one, and everybody heard that song for a while. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And just talking with Dale a little bit about that song, the writer of the song, like he's a talented guy, and you know, went on to have a career. You know, continuing to write music and lyrics and stuff like that too. So he's been an interesting guy to talk to.
Are there any musicians, either from, I guess, your time doing open mics quite some time ago or more recently, that have inspired you around Mankato? Anybody you kind of see really doing it different or doing it well?
You know, honestly, as a writer, I like to edit too, and I know what I don't like. Working those open mics, and maybe part of it is the bar setting, or late at night things can kind of get worse, or you know, I don't know. I had people, you know, not smash my guitar, but like, you know, put marks on my guitar. One guy was playing it. I was, you know, wasn't watching for about 2 minutes, and he gets done and his hand's all bloody. He's like, "Oh man, I played your guitar until my fingers bled," and like his blood is still on my guitar on the inside of it. I kind of want to just throw the guitar away almost, but at the same, I don't know. The guy was an idiot. So like I saw some things that I didn't like. Honestly, you know, and I had some people come up and want to play with me too. And you know, anybody who's played music knows that guitar player who just all of a sudden wants to take over the song, and it's like, you know, pardon my French or whatever this is, but guitar masturbation. I feel like it's like nobody wants to watch you do that. Like, go do that in your room or whatever.
It's an important skill for, like, knowing when you should and should not play is an important skill for any musician.
Totally. Or yeah, how much is enough? How much adds to the song? You know, so that was interesting to see that, not just people coming up and playing with me, or me trying to play along with other people too, but watching the different groups that would come up and how dynamics work within a group, or a duo or whatever. So, yeah, I would love to. I wish I would have kept like a daily or a weekly journal. It was a weekly open mic, and we had a limerick contest too there for a couple of years. Every night, that was sort of my calling card: open mic and limerick contest. So I would give away a free McGough's open mic limerick champion T-shirt to whoever won the limerick. So people started coming to actually write limericks, and that was a lot of fun.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. It's cool. Well, hey, we are on a little bit of a timeline here. I think we're getting near the end. So why don't we point people at where they can locate you or your music, or keep up with any of these upcoming shows you got going on?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I've got a website, nateboots.com. You can find the album on there and send in for it. I'm also on some of the digital platforms, iTunes and Amazon Music and whatever else these days. Spotify, if you want to look it up for free too. So, got Facebook. You can find me. I also play around Cato all the time. I've got a million gigs this fall and stuff. I love doing that, and I love going out and watching music too. I feel like we're kind of in a little bit of a golden era right now. I really feel like that. I feel like when I first came to town in about 2001, 2, 3, 4, there was kind of a golden era of writing. All these great writers came through, and we were just rich with writers. And I feel that coming back now with local singer-songwriters, musicians here. I've really enjoyed meeting a lot of them, and just seeing what they got next too. I think that's great, and I love what you guys are doing with Triple Falls too. I've watched some of these casts and a lot of the videos, so thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. It's, that's how you keep it going. That's how you get it going. Keeping it local. Radio show is another place I've gone just to hear new music, and I've met people from that. I just played music yesterday in my living room with Barrett Finken, who I met through listening to Keep It Local. She plays cello, she plays piano, she plays ukulele, guitar. Super talented, and I wouldn't have heard of her if not for that. So you guys keep up the good work too. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. We certainly agree about the golden age because
Yeah.
we never run out of things to point cameras at.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Keep pointing them. Keep working it.
Right on. Well, hey, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for the time and thanks for those songs. That was really cool and I enjoyed listening.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, guys.
Yes. All right.